TB2 back again. We got another guest here with us today, joining the Burr BU aura and the B double dollar sign, the boss. We also have, some may say, the boss. Some may call him Tim Boosby. I would never, but some would. He wrestles in Memphis wrestling. He's wrestled in Action Wrestling, West Coast Pro. You've seen him in Hooligan Wrestling, Hooligan Championship Wrestling. He's wrestling all over. He's been on AEW. He's done some Ring of Honor work. He's done some extra work in WWE. And he is skyrocketing to the top of wrestling. First there was Elvis. Then there was Jerry Lawler. Now, the new self-proclaimed king of Memphis wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Tim Bosby. What's up, man?
Hello. Look, I appreciate it. You know, skyrocketing to the top pro wrestling. You said it, not me, but it's the truth. So what's going on?
Another day in paradise.
Yo.
We'll go ahead and jump right into it. A little bit of backstory for those that do not know. Tim, you've been a wrestling fan since the literal day you were born. I guess you popped out. Dad was watching Raw in the delivery room, and that's how it was born. Going from you were a Miz fan as a kid. You liked the heels. I do kind of want to know why the heels were, drew your attention. And then what opened your eyes with the Kenny Omega and Okada as you started to transform your love into wrestling much farther than the day you were born?
Okay, so first off, you've been doing your research because you just named a lot of facts. Wow, I don't even know where to begin on that. Yeah, so I love how I keep telling this story now. It's getting around that once I was all cleaned up and I was cut out of my mom's stomach. My dad put Monday Night Raw on to her not liking that at all. I love that story's out. And my dad hates. I've not started to tell that, by the way. He thinks it paints him in such a bad light, and he hates that. But I'm gonna keep telling everybody. But yes, so your question, the Miz and bad guys. As a kid, I just always thought the bad guys were cooler. I just always thought they had more swag, more aura to them, as the kids say. I just thought the good. I mean, I like some good guys, but I thought they were just too cookie cutter, too squeaky clean. Like John Cena, for example. There is a picture of me when I was like 3. Wasn't my choice. My mom decked me out in a full Cena gear. Some people think I was a Cena kid because of that. I was not. That was just the only thing they had at the Halloween store. But I just always liked the heels. Just thought they were cooler. So Miz, Ziggler, and Cody. Especially like Cody in 2012. Like those are my 3 guys. And then was your second question about Kenny Omega and getting into that?
You've said something about once your eyes opened up to New Japan, you heard about the Okada Omega match, and that's what kind of introduced you to. And so I kind of want to know what drew you to them.
So I only watched WWE from birth to 13. And let's be honest, but not wouldn't say necessarily now, but at that point, so from 2004 to 2017, there's definitely a certain WWE style. There's a certain way the matches are formatted and the way they go about them. So when everyone kept talking about this Kenny and Okada match, and I was like, I don't care. It's not the WWE. I'm not watching it. And then I finally gave it a chance, and I watched this 7-minute highlight video. These guys are doing things I'd never seen before, and just the environment, the atmosphere looked different. And then once I found the full match and watched it in full, I just was like, man, this is crazy. I have to find out more. And it's crazy because at first I was just so enamored by Kenny Omega. His look, his presentation, the Terminator gear. I was like, this guy's incredible. I completely sidelined Okada at the time, which is so crazy looking back because Okada is maybe the greatest ever. But at the time, I was just so focused on Kenny, and then going down that rabbit hole of finding out more about him, which then led me to find out about the Young Bucks and finding out about Like, I didn't know people had histories before going to WWE, so I remember going on YouTube and looking up stuff, and I was like, "Bryan Danielson? That's
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
What the
Tyler
fuck?"
Black.
And, like yeah, Tyler Black, so, like and then just finding out, like, man, there's a whole other world out there, and just the style and the way they were doing their matches. I literally didn't watch WWE for the rest of that year of 2017. I kept up with it from a sideline, but, like, it was like, how can I go back to watching it? Like, just with all the different variety of wrestling that was out there and all the stuff in the past, it was just I don't know, it just changed everything for me. It's just a different style of wrestling.
Yeah.
I had that
Yeah.
experience too, Tim. I'm a WWE, WWF tribalist, bro. But I definitely just doing this podcast, man, alone has just opened my eyes to so many things. I've watched history, documentaries, and everything, man. I've opened my eyes to Memphis wrestling, action wrestling, just all type of shit. Just doing this, man. And yeah, I definitely have had that experience, the same experience you had. I had because I grew up on WWF, man, WCW and WWF only. I wasn't fucking with AEW or none of that shit, but I could definitely relate to that experience, bro.
I was gonna say, now you gotta start watching AEW. We gotta get you
Yeah,
an
I do.
AEW
Now I
card.
do. Now I do.
I
Now I,
got a
I watch
moment.
it all now. I watch all that shit. I watch it all. You know what I'm saying? I got to. I can't do this podcast and not. I can't say I love wrestling and just stay locked in. But I mean, WWE, I feel like it's gonna always just be the pinnacle, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go back to spitting some facts. Okay. So bear
Yes,
with
sir.
me. Trying to keep
Yes, sir.
people up to date with the past of Mr. Timothy over here. Can I call you Tim? Can I call you Tim? I got
I
the
was gonna say
bar
that's what
and I got the boss. I don't
Just
I was gonna
now
say
we got
my
boss. We got
government.
Tim. We got the bars in the house, man. You gotta address them. Address them as such, bro. The king of Memphis, the new king of Memphis, man.
Your Highness.
Hey, my government, that's whatever you wanna call me, man. I'm
Whatever you want to
call me
call it, the
daddy if
new
you
king of
want.
Memphis, man.
So you go from amateur wrestling in high school, 2022 state champion, number one in Tennessee in the 220 weight class. You transition over after graduating high school, like a month later, start transitioning into being a pro wrestler with Memphis Wrestling. You start training under Dustin Starr. You start training under Derek King and Alex Steele over there in Memphis. And before you even can get situated and training into the Memphis, as you're growing up, you're so dialed into becoming a wrestler that you are watching YouTube videos and taking bumps in the living room. So now, as you're taking bumps in the ring, it's, I guess, not as bad. But did that help you? Prepping your conditioning, prepping your bumping that early, and prepping all that. The only thing you have left is crowd work and promos.
I tell you what, man, nobody I've done a few interviews now. Nobody has like actually known anything about me. This is crazy. Yes, yes. Where have I even said that before? Yeah, I've watched videos. So when I was a kid on YouTube, there was How to Wrestle, his YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure it's still up. It was just guys in their backyard, and then they eventually like bought a ring, and put in their backyard. But they would just explain wrestling. So, and I'm an only child, so like I didn't have a brother or like a sister or anything to play around and really learn, I guess, or try and do moves. So it would just be me and the Invisible Man in my living room. And then I eventually got a trampoline when I was younger, which helped me out greatly. And like I would just try and practice my bump form and front bumps, flip bumps, back bumps. Once I got the trampoline, I would go over matches in my head, like, and I would reenact the whole match as one wrestler and then go back through it and then be the other wrestler. And I'm
Yeah.
practicing like selling, like taking these moves. One of my favorite matches, I used to do that as a kid, was Randy, Ray, and Kurt from Mania 22.
Yep.
For some reason, it's like a 10-minute sprint because I'd only do it with like shorter matches because like as a kid I couldn't remember that much. But like
Right.
I would watch the match 10 times and be like, all right, and I'd write down everything that Kurt would do, and then I go on my trampoline and just reenact it. And
Nice.
then I would be like, oh, what did Ray do? And then I just reenact everything Ray did, and I'd reenact everything Randy did. So, like, I just been practicing as a kid forever. It's all I ever wanted to do. And,
Wow.
oh god, I can ramble about wrestling. What was the question? I'm so sorry. I can just start rambling.
You answered the
Oh,
question.
you pretty much answered it. Just talking about
You
taking
answered
bumps
the
in the living
question.
room
I
and watching
mean,
YouTube videos over it.
Oh,
And
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, look, hey, look how all that the studying is transition. You know, they say you take 10,000 hours, you become an expert at something. You definitely put in the time. You know.
Oh, buddy, I had 10,000 hours by age 9.
Hey, can I remind the viewers at home, Mr. Bosby is very young. He's a young guy. He's a young guy. This
yes,
this past ain't too distant that Bird talking about. He was just a state champion a couple years ago, guys. He just got out of high school. So I mean that blows my mind. Like it's amazing, man. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That's right. I am 22 years of age. I was born February 25th, 2004. So I think you guys would fall into the what the kids say unk status these
Oh
days.
yeah, most definitely. I
yeah,
graduated in 2004. I'm definitely
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
definitely man. I'm definitely a So just to see you, just to see how locked in you are, as the YN say, to see how locked in you are on this, it's just amazing, bro. It's amazing because you young, man. You've already held titles and everything, man.
Big future,
It's been a
big
heck of a
future.
ride.
Um,
I used to wrestle in school, so I know how hard it is to win that state title. That's one of the hardest things. I know how hard it is to be a wrestler, man. The dedication, and unlike any other sport, it's a one-on-one sport. So you lose that match, it's on you. You know, like it's a lot of dedication that goes into just being a good wrestler, a state champion level wrestler. Awesome, awesome. I know what it takes, and that's awesome. That's amazing in itself.
yeah, that's next level. That's next level. And that's what I kind of I kind of wondered if, with all that being said, all the work that you put in those 10,000 hours, you talk about being nervous in your entrance. Talk about being nervous up to the show in your entrance, but once you get in the ring in between those ropes, all that nervousness goes away. You're comfortable. Is it because all of that is basically second nature to you at this point? All the hours that you put
Uh,
into it?
I think so. And also, how do I say this? In a not in a not cocky way and just a self-confidence manner, I do think that I'm decent. I think I'm decent. But the thing is, I have no choice but to be great. And I say that because I have literally burned away and have turned away every other thing I could have done. I was really good in baseball. I could have went on a scholarship for that. Said no because I wanted to go wrestle. I was good at wrestling. I could have had a scholarship for that. I turned that away because I wanted to go be a pro wrestler.
Mm.
There was a really good job opportunity, like a real life job opportunity I could have got straight out of high school that would have been fantastic for an 18-year-old to get and probably could have set me up for the rest of my life. But I turned it down because I want to be a pro wrestler. So, like, I have to be great. I have to be good because I have turned away and have pissed off every other thing else that I could have done for a living and could have been doing.
Hey,
So,
you got
like,
a good baseball name too.
so, like, I look at it as like, maybe the best way to put it is like my back is always against the wall because it has to be. Oh, what? We got a visitor. Hello. But yeah, no, I don't know. The nervous thing, like I said, I'm like always. I shouldn't say always, but a good amount of the time here recently, I've been nervous a lot. Like for West Coast Pro, that just happened a few weeks ago in San Francisco, California. I was extremely nervous about it the whole day, just because
Mm.
West Coast was a bucket list promotion and a bucket list thing before I started training. So finally, like getting to do that was cool. And then the whole day and the whole setup and production and like getting to meet Chris Hero, I was extremely nervous the whole time. Right, like during my entrance, oh, I was so nervous. And then too, like also I get nervous wrestling in front of new crowds
Mm,
because like they don't know me. Like in San Francisco, California, who the heck is gonna know me? I'm
yeah,
from Memphis, you know?
yeah.
And then like that card like, I just thought I took it as a blessing to even be on that card because it had, TV guys like Lee Moriarty, Adam Priest, Daniel Garcia for AEW, Billy Starks as well for AEW. Then it had MLW with LeBron Cozone. Then you have Vinny Massaro, Johnny Robbie,
Yep.
so I was just like, the hell am I doing here? So
Right.
I was extremely nervous, but then as soon as
Right.
the bell rang, it just all went away. And
Right.
I don't even this is my first match with Zay Washington in Memphis Wrestling. I can't explain it. Like as soon as the bell rings, it just all goes away. I'm just calm because like I don't know. I just feel confident in my abilities. Once we're actually in the ring and we're ready to go.
Yeah. Um. Now, I will say, between being born watching wrestling, you do also have a rare feat in the world of wrestling. And in the year of 1997, I believe it was, um,
God
you 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 may or may not have, before you were even born, pinned The Rock. Is this true? Is this rumor? Is this gobbledygook? Or is this accurate? What happened? What's going on?
All right. I gotta stop putting you over for all this knowledge, but my goodness. Yes, this is true. In 1997, on a Raw is War, a somehow, we don't know how, Tim Bosby in 1997 pinned Rocky Maivia. Rocky Maivia got Tim Bosby off the ropes, went for a high knee. Tim Bosby swooped through, hooked a schoolboy, 1, 2, 3, maybe held the tights to win. Camera angles don't show it. But yes, that did happen. That's episode 1 of season 3 for Young Rock. Young Rock filmed in Memphis, and that was a crazy opportunity. I wasn't, like I said, that was before my first match. That was filmed somewhere at the start of October of 2022. And that was a crazy experience because about a month before that, Chavo Guerrero and Marty Elias came to the Wrestle Center unannounced. They didn't tell anybody. And it was a thing that Dustin had set up. And Chavo was there to scout because he was he has some official name, but he was like the wrestling producer or whatever for the series. So he was there and he saw, he was just trying to get bodies for the show. And he looked at me, and I was the first person he came and pulled and talked to. And I think I was the only person there from the training that he got. Uh, I was so like, I didn't was like thought he was ripping. But he said, "Hey, so can I get your name, email, number, whatever, and I'm gonna give it to NBC Studios." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
Whatever.
So I gave him information and I was like, that's too good to be true. That's not happening. And then like a week later, I was at my job, got a phone call from a number that was just random. And at that time, I never answered any random numbers. Now, in the world of wrestling, you never know who's calling, so you answer
Right.
anytime. But at that time, I did not. And they left a voicemail, and I remember playing it. And I was like, I started playing it, and I put my phone down, and like I was cleaning up, so it's playing in the background. And the person goes like, "Hey, this is so-and-so from NBC Studios. We're trying to reach Tim Bosby." And like, I immediately like jumped at the phone and called him back
Redial.
and was like, "Hey,
Redial.
hey, hey, yeah, so sorry. Like, I was busy. Like, my mom just fell off a bike. Like, please, what's going on? And then that got the whole thing started. And yeah, so, and I was blessed enough to, I like basically quit my job at that time to keep going back to all the filmings. I pretty much, every ring you saw in season 3, I set up and tore down. I pretty much got a part of the ring crew. And then I was like, you can see me sporadically for the rest as, in the background of whatever scenes. But Young Rock was a big learning experience. I got to see kind of how like Hollywood works, so to
Yeah.
speak. And those are long days. Those are getting there at 4 a.m. and you're not leaving till like 1 a.m. the next day. Crazy how that works. But yeah, once again, I can talk forever about wrestling. But yes, the Young Rock. I did pin The Rock, 1997, Rocky Maivia, off a roll up. I may or may not have held the trunks, But yes.
So then you
Great show,
go.
by the way.
It is a good
Great
show.
show. Everybody go check it
Yeah,
out. Season 3 in particular has seen
see,
Bosby.
See, that's what I like to say. It's a great show. Some people have made fun of me saying that what a coincidence they put me on the show, then they don't get renewed for a fourth season. I don't, hey, I don't think it's because of me. I think
He
there's some
had to tell his story was over. It was called Young Rock, His
Yeah,
story was
that's
over.
a reach. That's a
I
reach.
was I was glad it made it to 3 seasons, honestly. I was like, shit, they could tell his whole story in the first season, but it was a great show. I liked it the show actually.
So
That's his best acting show he ever been on.
yeah. So you debut on Memphis, you debut at Memphis Wrestling. You're a baby face, you're working as a good guy there starting out, and then for some random reason, which is cool at the time because you talked about how people were buying your shirts and you were happy about them buying your shirts and how it felt good, having you and your dad wearing people's shirts and now people are in the crowd wearing your shirts and it's a full circle moment in wrestling and it's really cool. And then all of a sudden, randomly for no reason, weeks later, people are or maybe months later, people are burning your shirts in the parking lot. Like
hey, kind of crazy.
out of
We might
nowhere.
need to check some of those. We might need to check some of those people's hard drives that were burning my shirt. Those people, it's kind of messed
Most
up.
definitely. I'll get on it right now, Tim. I'll get on it right now. I'll get on it right now.
But yeah, I started out as a good guy. It's weird. I started out as a good guy, and then I went to a bad guy, and then I went back to being a good guy, and I was a good guy for a long time, and now I still think I'm a good guy, but to the people's reaction, they don't think so.
No, not at all.
You know what? Speaking of T-shirts, I have a question. Does that
Yeah.
shirt say "better than you"? Is
It
that an
does.
MJF shirt?
It does. Yeah. I have a question about this. Do you want me to go ahead and jump into that now?
Well, I've been seeing this shirt, and I was like, I know this brother's not wearing an MJF shirt. This
I
can't be
am.
on purpose. I know.
Oh no, 100%. It is 100%. Yes.
Well, it's kind of burning me up here, getting me hot.
Well, and I apologize because I'm intrigued with. I've only heard part of the story, and I'd like to know more. Because you've talked about liking characters, with 3 initial names that may be heels. JBL and and maybe you were gonna and MVP, and maybe you were gonna be a TJB, but then TJP came around
That's
and you
right.
couldn't do that. And so, I thought maybe when you debuted on, Raw or Smack, maybe that's going to be, the new name that you go by is your TJ. But that's beside the point. We'll get into signing into a big company in a minute. But you had put on a promo in Memphis that MJF had made some comments online that made you very unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see it. I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it completely. So I just wanted to go to the source and want to know what was said that kind of got you so heated. And if you got a response to you saying, where's the quote? I have it here somewhere. The quote, "Rip off the devil horns and put him in the ground," unquote. So I didn't
Oh
know if he had
no! You ain't
responded
tell
to that.
Marcus that. You ain't tell Marcus that. You ain't tell Marcus that. You didn't.
Look,
Heat. We got heat, bro. We got heat.
look. Maxwell, or as I like this, Maxwell Jacob Fraudman, as I like to call him. No, look, I posted a clip a few months ago of me looking awesome, quite frankly, me doing a German suplex and throwing my opponent, Slim J. This happened at an Action Wrestling show back in February. I did a German suplex, threw the guy so far he did a backflip. For some reason, it just went crazy on Twitter. Got a bunch of likes, bunch of views. And I guess it caught the world champion's eyes, and it got on his radar, and he left a comment saying that if I had plastic surgery on my face, then maybe I could make money someday in this business.
Ooh. Ooh.
Kind of crazy.
Ooh.
Kind of crazy.
Hey,
Ooh.
What the hell?
hey,
Yeah.
Marcus don't care. Marcus
He-
talks shit.
Here's a little backstory, okay? I loved MJF. What I talked about as a kid being a heel, AEW started when I was a sophomore in high school. And MJF, since day one, he came at the perfect time. I was like 14, 15, and I was like, this MJF guy, this is me. Like, we're the same person. Like, this guy's awesome. Like, when he made fun of Bret Hart for getting, tackled at the Hall of Fame, I was like, oh, I'm latching on. This guy's great. And fun fact, I've told this before, MJF is actually the reason I didn't go to college. I was going to go to college. I was going to suck it up. And my parents were talking about, oh, go get an education, go do whatever.
Yeah.
I was going to actually go wrestle some crappy school in Illinois. And the week of my state tournament was during his feud with CM Punk. And my state tournament started on Thursday, and then of course Dynamite's on Wednesday. Well, on that Wednesday of my state week, that's where he goes on television and kind of gives his villain origin story, if you will, and talks about how when he went to college and he was miserable and he was sitting in his dorm room and he just knew this is not what he wanted to do. He had to leave. I heard that and I said, I'm not even making the mistake. I'm not even going.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I told, when I got back from the state tournament, I said, look, I'm just going to jump straight into wrestling. So literally MJF is the reason why I didn't go to college and why I started my career, when I did. So fast forward 4 years later, on a very serious note, for him to comment, I freaked out and it got me a lot of publicity. A lot of people because obviously he has followers and he's known. People from his page that follow everything he does were like, well, who's he talking trash to? Who's this guy? And they went through my profile. And honestly, I can say since that moment, I've gotten just a lot of crazy recognition on Twitter, all because of that moment, really. Just because he brought so much attention to me and I've kind of been able to make it stick.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy, Mr.
Yeah,
Rodman.
for sure.
Thank you for
sure.
In his own way, he put me over of saying that I'm ugly, but hey, if I was, pretty, then I make money in this business. So in his own way, he kind of put me over. But no, so I took to Memphis TV to just let him know that if he does get cute again, because it was funny once for him to say something. But if he does decide to say something again, however, I would take those devil horns and rip them off and put them in the ground.
Put them in the ground. Yep, that's what I have to quote.
Set it up. I'll be there.
Yeah. Have
I'll
you
be there front row for that.
Have you got any response from MJF since the bold? I don't know. Threat's a strong word.
Well, no. So because I responded that day when he said what he said about that he said I need a plastic surgery. I responded back, well, wrestle me and you'll need plastic surgery, pussy. And I actually, as the kids like to say, I ratioed the world champion. His tweet had 600 likes, 700 likes. Mine has 800. So I ratioed the 3-time world champion. No big deal. No big deal at all. Just a 22-year-old lousy independent wrestler from Memphis, ratioing the 3-time world champ by 30. So I'd like to say me and Mr. Frodman would be good best buddies. I don't think he would want us to be, though, because he, buried me. But yeah.
I mean, hey, maybe you could be his next Wardlow. You could kind of help him out and be, behind him and beside him through thick and thin.
Most definitely.
Until he turns on you eventually.
What if I turned on him? I've been watching this guy since I was 14. I know all his tricks. I've seen every match on AEW television. I mean, what if I turned on him,
Mm-hmm.
Well, then that'd be one time that, the devil somebody got one on him because he's normally the first one to strike. It don't. We'll get off of MJF because I've spent enough time on his behalf. We're over in Memphis
Marcus
Wrestling.
Jerome is what I call him.
Over Memphis wrestling, I talk about Memphis a lot because I go to a lot of the shows over there. You know, I've gotten to see you live multiple times. Um, this last 4th of July didn't have such a great showing. Again, another kind of full circle moment in wrestling. It's kind of, you know, wrestling works in poetry moments. Um, Early days of Memphis wrestling, Mike Anthony wins the Cobra Cup. He kind of dastardly cashes in and wins the world title or the Heritage Championship. Um,
Yep.
we fast forward a little bit. Mr. Tim Bosby wins the Cobra Cup, decides to cash in, maybe not on the best of terms, to capture the championship and then lose it again, but then win it back again, but then only win it with a kendo stick shot and a ref bump in order to win. That's beside the point. That's neither here nor there. Um,
That's the art of
the
the hill, Burr. The art of the hill, baby.
the match you had with Mike Anthony didn't come out on top. You end up losing the Heritage Championship, crowning a new champion. What was your thoughts on the match and thoughts on the new Heritage Champion Mike Anthony?
I thought the match was, um, I thought it was probably one of the best, if not maybe the best match to happen in that building so far. I thought it was a very good back and forth contest. Um, you know, Mike's the champ. It is what it is. But I heavily enjoyed the match, even though I was not the victor. I did not. It was not the outcome that we wanted. I really enjoyed that match. I think the people were on a roller coaster that day of ups and downs. They didn't know who was going to win, and I think we put on a pretty good show for them. Not the outcome that Team Bosby wanted, but you know, hey, I've gotten the belt back once already. Maybe I'll just get it back again. You know.
I think it's safe for that building. There was rumors that if you retained that day, the zone over there on the side of the ringway, the wild side or whatever they're called, there was talks of rioting going on if you end up holding on to that title that night. So I think it's good for the Wrestle Center that maybe you do just go back and claim it on a different date. We'll do it later. It's
Yeah,
fine.
they was gonna tear that motherfucker up.
Yeah, you know, the wild side, or as I like to call them, just point blank the crackheads. But yeah. They threatened that they might do some things to the building or me if I was to win. So
I want to get into you've worked a lot of veterans in the business that have worked at that next level. You're Nick Nemeth slash Dolph Ziggler. You know, you're Timothy Thatcher's, you're Josh Alexander, which was a great match. You're Josh Alexander. I'm sure that was a pleasure to work with. I'm sure Nick was too, being number 1B on your list as a kid. Um, what was one of the biggest things that you've kind of learned from working with some of those guys that have worked at the next level? And what do you think is keeping you from getting to that next level?
um to answer the first question, I don't the biggest thing that I've learned, I don't know, timing on a lot of things, pulling real back here, kind of how to put match together, when to put something where, how to really maximize a reaction the best way possible. I would say those are really behind the curtain answers, but that's probably what I've learned the most from working with those guys. Um, the second thing of what's keeping me from getting to the next level at the moment, I don't think there's necessarily nothing necessarily keeping me away. I think it's all about timing, and I think it's about what's needed at the moment in wrestling. And I think I'm on the come up, and I think maybe some people think I need just maybe an extra little bit of seasoning, maybe, or whatever. You know, I am not rushing at all,
Still
to
young.
get, you know, called up or get a phone call to go get a job in Jacksonville or in New York, as we'll say. Um, I I like getting to travel around and get to learn and pick from different brains all over the independents because there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of wealth to learn from the independents, from guys that have been doing it for a long time. And there's a difference between just doing it for a long time and doing it for a long time and actually traveling and being like a name and being someone you can learn from. Uh, so guys like now he's on TV every week on Collision, but Adam Priest, when I first started, was someone that I got to pick his brain and learn because he's been around the globe literally. Um, Slim J's another guy that has been around that I got to wrestle here in the last year or so and pick his brain. Um, so I think the independence has a wealth of knowledge. So I'm not rushing. Hey, if somebody wants to give me a job, I'm not going to complain. But I'm not rushing or begging for a job, you know? Like I think timing is everything, and I think everything happens for a reason. It could be 6 months from now, it could be 6 years from now, it could never happen. My happiness is not dictated off signing a contract because the goal for me, which is what I think a lot of wrestlers may forget, is just like the goal, number one goal was to just be a wrestler. If I was just a wrestler in the backyard, it would have been happy for me. But I have been very fortunate in 4 years to get to do a lot of stuff that not many people get to do. And I'm just rare. And I think pro wrestlers forget as well that they're rare in the sense that many people have dreams of doing stuff and they don't even get to try and attempt it. Pro
Yep.
wrestlers, you get to do your dream and you get to do it on, different levels. And like, I'm just grateful. Like I said, I just went in this year alone. I mean, I've wrestled all over the South. I've wrestled in Texas, Indiana, Chicago. I just went and wrestled in Jacksonville, like you said, for Ring of Honor. How
Yep.
fucking nuts is that?
Yep.
I wrestled in San Francisco. I wrestled in Las Vegas. I'm wearing a produce shirt right now, a new promotion I just started. I'm gonna be wrestling there in Brooklyn, New York in August. So
Oh,
like pro wrestling is literally letting me travel the freaking country. So like I am as happy as can be. Like I'm living the dream. So my happiness is not dictated off putting pen to paper. Would it be great? Absolutely. I'm not gonna act like it wouldn't be. But I'm just saying it's not my number one. I have to do this. I am just letting the pro wrestling train, carry me however far, and I'm just living for the ride.
you and talking about you wrestling all over the place is one of the best, I guess, quotes or analogies that I've heard you say is wrestling in different areas. You've got different styles, and it's kind of like ice cream. This coast has, their chocolate, and Texas in the South, they're a vanilla, and up north, you've got your different flavors, your different styles. I thought it was a great analogy because you've managed to kind of taste flavors everywhere and like maybe not love every flavor but like every flavor, and talking about the style of wrestling when working a Nick Gage versus a Kalisto, um to be able to succeed when put into that situation, anytime you are. But I've also heard that you really, really want to try maybe some, I don't know, like sake ice cream or tequila ice cream, maybe talking about traveling and trying some ice cream flavors uh in other seas or across borders, maybe outside of the 50. Any update on you getting out of the States and traveling international? I'm
Yeah, yeah. So you threw me for a loop there when you said tequila ice cream. I was like, I don't drink. I'm straight edge. But um, yes. So the goal is to wrestle out the country. There was something set up. I don't know if it's gonna fall through into this year or maybe early next year. We're kind of seeing what's happening. But there are things in place, which is crazy for me to say. Um, but yes, there was something in place. Like dead set, but I don't know if it's going to get pushed back to early next year or if it'll still happen this year. But yes, wrestling outside the country is very big, very, very big. My go-to, I mean, I want to wrestle everywhere, but my go-to spot, just because I'm such a mark for New Japan, and that's what really opened my eyes, going to Japan. Um, I mean, come on. I want to wrestle in Korakuen Hall. I want to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. I want to wrestle in the Budokan. I want to wrestle in all these legendary venues and go learn that culture and wrestle in front of those people, because that's a whole different thing there with their fans. They're not really actively cheering and booing. It's more clapping and respectful. It's a whole different vibe, whole different thing. But yes, wrestling outside the country is a very big goal. We're not 40 miles over here. Okay. We're not, we're we're not 40 miles. We're trying to get out and learn,
Of
There may be
course.
some other people in the area that are, not Tim Bosby.
I know we're kind of hitting that time limit now. I'm going to try to go through. I got a couple of Twitter questions for you real quick. I asked people if they had questions for Tim Bosby. Had a couple of responses I thought might be interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and shout them to you. We'll hit the TB2 and we'll call it a day. How's that sound, boss?
Sound good to me, brother.
All right. So first, we got from @memfam. What are you listening to in the gym?
Oh gosh. Well, I can tell you this. It's ABC. What does ABC mean? Anything but country. So quite frankly, anything. I'll listen to Eminem. I'll listen to Nicki Minaj. I'll listen to Megan Thee Stallion. I'll listen to, oh God, I'm running out of people. Whoever, NLE Choppa, Taylor Swift. I'm a big Swiftie, Okay, like
Got some
it's
bangers.
anything. It's anything. A lot of wrestling pay-per-view theme songs because I'm a nerd. A lot of wrestler songs just in general. My favorite song ever from wrestling is Christian's Close Your Eyes version 1 with the female singer.
Great.
I just think that's a great song.
Great.
So, I even sometimes do the deal of like, I'm gonna get off topic real quick. I sometimes come out and do Christian's like, the little hand wave thing.
Boss does it every week.
And I'd be
Me
like,
too.
wow, man.
Every week.
I go like, man, I shouldn't be doing that. That's his thing. But in the last like 2 days, I keep listening to that song and I keep watching old TNA clips and like old 2005 Raw clips. And I'm like, bro, this just has so much aura. I'm just gonna keep doing it. He doesn't do it no more. I'm gonna take it. So, but yes, so you're gonna start seeing from here on out me coming out. I could be wrestling in front of 10 people, but I'm still gonna come out and do the. Or like so many, But anyways, that's besides the point. What's the next one?
Next Memphis tape, and I'll be waiting for it. I'll be at the edge of my seat waiting for that hand to come up. And I'm gonna yell, "That's Christians!" And then we'll see what happens.
Hey, you know what? I might even steal his old catchphrase from TNA. I might just start saying because that's how I roll, because I'm a big Christian mark. I don't know. We'll see.
Just don't start talking about people's deceased relatives. Don't.
No, see, he does that now. Like the rule is, what's old is new again.
Okay.
And, it may sound crazy, but that stuff that Christian was doing, I mean, guys, that was 20 years ago. Some people may have not even seen that. So me coming out doing this and me stealing his catchphrase because that's how I roll. Some people might be like, wow, this Tim Bosby guy has aura. No, I don't. I'm just stealing from Christian 20 years ago. But nonetheless, keep going.
I like how you think.
At Tiny Timmy B, what video games are you playing?
So these days, I love Fall Guys. I love Rocket League. I used to play Warzone like every day up until like a year ago. And I just played Warzone like a few days ago. Now they got grappling hooks. I don't know what the hell's going on now. I might be getting into unk status because I'm getting cooked on there. But NBA 2K, I dabble in the Madden every now and then. Of course, the wrestling games. More so, I even though it came out in 2017, 2018, I still play Fire Pro Wrestling like every day. I just love that game. And then I love playing Well, I love not even playing. I just love putting 2 AI wrestlers in there because the AI will have a crazy match if you have the settings right. So yeah, just Rocket League, some Call of Duty, some 2K, some Madden, whatever, some wrestling games. I recently finally played Red Dead 2,
Good
and
game.
oh my gosh, what a game!
Yes. Great game.
Fire.
At 90 None Hater, is it true your strength instantly triples when you pull down the straps?
When I was a good guy, yes. However, I noticed that when I'm a bad
You
guy,
get cut off a
whenever
lot.
I take down the straps,
You get cut off.
whenever I take down the straps, like I instantly get cooked. Like something happens. It doesn't go right. Like, a little bit ago, not trying to name pull, I wrestled on Collision against Lee Moriarty.
Yep.
Crazy thing, sick national television debut. It was really awesome. I got fired up and I took down the straps and the building kind of popped a little bit and I was hyped. I ran up the ropes. I came back at Lee, kicked my dome off and just sent me to another planet.
Yep.
The Mike Anthony match, I took down the straps. I hit the ripcord lariat and Mike kicked out at 1. What the hell? So like when I was a good guy, I took down the straps and I German suplex Aaron Roberts' big ass. Boom. That was awesome.
Yes.
But here in the last few months,
easy too.
Yeah, well, of course I did. But since I've turned bad, like now, I don't know. I've lost all my strength points when I should probably keep the straps on.
Keep them on.
It's like I lose when I take them off. I wrestled. Well, on that Ring of Honor match, I wrestled in Helico.
Yep.
I was winning. I was in control. I took down the straps. It all went downhill. So I gotta stop taking the straps down.
Gotta keep them up. That's it. Gotta keep them up. Also, just note to self, there may have been a little bit of pantsing situation going on the last few times you and Mike Anthony have been wrestling. On a couple of power bomb spots. So
dude. Look. Mike Anthony, the first time at the July 4th show, Mike had new gear made, and let's just say the gear was not fitting the best that it should have. So that was the excuse then. And we were both like, all right, it was just that. Then we just wrestled not too long ago at the Arkansas Travelers, and they posted some of the footage from it. And I did the powerbomb on the apron there. And well, somehow Mike's ass came out again, and he was wearing his properly fitted gear. So now he's blaming me. Now he's saying it's my fault. In West Coast Pro, I did the powerbomb on the apron to Alpha Zoe, and for a split second, you saw his ass and just cheeks. So now, like, maybe that's my thing on the pop-up powerbomb. I give some people a show, I guess. I don't know. I got to try and avoid that going forward.
I just got a couple more. We're gonna have to get to the actual TB2 on the part 2 next time you're on. Let me get these Twitter questions out real quick, and then we'll let you go. At Not My Memphis King says, Tim wrestles like Kurt Angle, but looks like Muhammad Ali and Sid from Toy Story had a love child. I don't.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, first of all, that's obviously clearly Marco Harris's burner.
Okay.
Obviously. But I want you to screenshot that, and I want you to send that my way, please. Because that's pretty funny. Muhammad Ali is something I've gotten a lot. I first started getting that in Chattanooga from some older fans, and then all of a sudden, in the last year, everywhere I go, people keep saying that. I honestly don't see it. But it's funny because when people kept saying it to me, I started doing the shuffle and I started doing jabs to like pop the people in Chattanooga. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is kind of good. I like this. So now I do the punches and the jabs and the shuffle in a lot of matches now. So the Ali thing, hey, That's cool. The Kurt Angle thing, that's cool. The Sid from Toy Story is pretty nuts, kind of nuts. But please screenshot that to me.
I'll send that
And
your
send
way.
that my way.
I'll send that your way. At TB2 Podcast, are you still eating Fruit Loops with water?
Oh my God! I've only said that like one time somewhere. That was like 2 years ago. Yes. Yes. For those that don't know, okay, so that started in my amateur wrestling days. I used to drink milk all the time, but then when I was in high school, we got preached about how bad milk is and how it sits in the stomach and helps you gain weight, whatever, whatever. And I was like, well, I love cereal. And they said, well, instead of milk, use water. And I was like, that's terrible. Who would do that? But then I tried it and I said, well, hold on. They might be cooking. So, and still to this day, I'm not even cutting weight no more. I'm not even wrestling. I'm 4 years removed from wrestling. When I have cereal, I have it with water. Sorry. So Fruit Loops or Cinnamon Toast or Fruity Pebbles. Those are kind of my 3 cereals. I have it with water. And I'm a liquid first guy. You pour the water in first, then you pour the cereal. So that's a double negative in the cereal world. But
Yeah,
you
it
know.
is.
Which
That's
equals
disgusting.
a positive, right? That's how math works, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's a positive. Last question before closing remarks. At Genetic Nightmare Champion, you previously talked about how you struggle with mental health at times, trying to cope with how good you actually are. How are you feeling since losing the Heritage title to Mike Anthony and realizing you weren't the better man on that day?
That started out crazy because I was like, damn, what mental health problems do I have? That's funny. Yeah, you know what? Look, yes, I lost in Memphis, but guess what? Memphis is not the only place I wrestle. So I still have a championship belt in Indiana for Hooligan Championship Wrestling. Like I said, I got produce coming up. I'll be back in West Coast. I'll be back in New Texas Pro. I'll be back in Naptown in Indianapolis. I'll be back in Chicago. There's other things going on to keep Tim Bosby's morale high and know that I'm still the man. Shout out Becky Lynch, but yes, I'm still the man. It's okay. But that started off. That was a good question. That was funny.
That we're gonna go ahead and push the TB2 into a part 2. We'll get you back on here at some later date. Tim, thanks for giving us the time of day. Thanks for being such a good sport, answering these questions to the best of your ability. I appreciate you coming on. Do you have any last words for the people at home that are watching and tuning into this?
Look, not to sound like a cornball, I'm supposed to be a bad guy, which I believe I am a good guy. Thanks for all the support. If you're listening to this, I don't know why. I'm just an idiot. I'm a walking future CTE case with how many times I land on my head every weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a supporter and a fan if you are. You can follow me on socials, Tim_Bosby on everything. Once again, check me out on Memphis, Action Wrestling, Naptown All Pro, New Texas, West Coast, Produce. I can't stop saying that enough. New Star promotion. They have tons of top talent. The first show just happened, and my goodness, it had Zack Sabre Jr., it had Jonathan Gresham,
Oh.
it had LeBron Cozone, Adam Priest, the one called Mainers. There was a ton of names. Billy Starks was on it. There's a ton of names on all the shows going forward. Your boy will be on the August 3rd edition. And on that show, I freaked out when I saw this on Twitter a few weeks ago. Hechicero is going to be on that show, and as well as Mystico. That's right. Tim Bosby and Mystico will be on the same show. You know your boy's going to be marked out in the back. And if you sign up on the My AEW website for produce using Produce Bosby, you save $50 on all the events. So that's why I keep plugging this so hard, because every time somebody uses my code, your boy gets a little bit of a check. So let's keep that happening. Let's keep that ball. So I just can't I can't shout that out enough.
Tim, thank you for the time, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We got more interviews coming around the corner. Got another big name from Memphis right around the corner, so y'all stay tuned. In the meantime, I am the B-U-R-R-R. If you're going to spell it right. This is the boss, B-O-double-dollar-sign. And this is the new king of Memphis, Tim Bosby. I mean, sorry, that was a typo. The typo. My apologies, Your Highness. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Bosby. Thanks, Tim. There you go.
But Dustin, I got a favor to ask you. I want you to get your phone. I want you to call your new best friend, Jerry Lawler. Bring him back up here so he can crown me the new and true king of Memphis wrestling. Talk about the greatest in the way. Making push returns and surprise debuts. Left me backstage, whisper we bring it to you. New scripts needed, just passion and mic. Two wrestling nerds with the loudest stakes. If the mad bitch shaking over title gets lost, you'll hear it first from the borough and the boss. Yeah. TB2 God. I'm good.